fluid coding and AI here. GLM 4.5 Air looks like the cheap, efficient Z.ai coding model, but the important detail is this. Air is not small. It is a 106 billion parameter mixture of experts model with 12 billion active parameters, 128,000 tokens of context, open weights, and a mixed coding benchmark result from our own run. So the real question is not whether it is hyped, it is where this model is actually useful. By the end, you should have a grounded answer to 3 questions. What is GLM 4.5 Air actually built for? What do the open weights, hosted pricing, and API support mean for a real developer workflow? And, most importantly, what did the model do in a coding benchmark that was narrow, local, and honest about failures? The short version is promising, but not magic. This is a model to test carefully, not a model to trust blindly. Z.ai describes GLM 4.5 Air as part of the GLM 4.5 family, built for agent-oriented work, reasoning, tool invocation, web browsing, software engineering, and front-end development. The larger GLM 4.5 has 355 billion total parameters with 32 billion active. Air is the smaller member at 106 billion total and 12 billion active. That matters because it frames the model correctly. It is lighter than the flagship, but it is still a serious large model designed for agent and coding use cases. The efficiency story comes from mixture of experts routing. Air has many total parameters, but only a smaller active subset is used for each forward pass. That is why 106 billion total parameters can behave more efficiently than the raw number sounds. But efficient is not the same thing as consumer-sized. Z.ai's repository says full-featured inference can require multiple H100 GPUs, and full 108,000 token context raises the hardware bar even more. The family also supports hybrid reasoning modes. Thinking mode is meant for harder reasoning and tool use chains, while non-thinking mode is meant for faster direct responses. For an app developer, that is not just a model feature, it is a product design lever. You have to decide when the task deserves extra reasoning time, and when a fast answer is the better user experience. A good coding agent should not pay the thinking tax on every tiny request. The developer surface is broader than a chatbot endpoint. Z.ai documents text input and output, 128,000 token context, up to 96,000 output tokens, function calling, streaming, context caching, structured output, and deep thinking. The quick start path is also familiar, an OpenAI-compatible chat completions API with a Z.ai base URL. For builders, that lowers integration friction. The model can fit into existing agent stacks without every application needing a custom client from scratch. Open weights are the other reason developers care. The Hugging Face model card says Z.ai open-sourced the GLM 4.5 and GLM 4.5 Air model variants, including hybrid reasoning and FP8 variants under the MIT license, with commercial use and secondary development allowed. There is one footnote: the GitHub repository license file is Apache 2.0, while the model card and README describe the model variants as MIT licensed. For production use, check the exact artifact you are shipping. Hosted pricing is aggressive. Z.ai lists GLM 4.5 Air at 20 cents per million input tokens and $1.10 per million output tokens, with cheaper cached input. OpenRouter's paid page showed a different price, 13 cents in and 85 cents out per million tokens. OpenRouter also lists a free route at $0 per token. That free route is useful for testing, but it is provider-routed infrastructure. It should not be treated as identical to a direct Z.ai production call. The public performance claims also need labels. Z.ai's model card reports an aggregate score of 63.2 for the full GLM 4.5 and 59.8 for GLM 4.5 Air, across 12 benchmarks. The technical report abstract lists stronger numbers for the full GLM 4.5, including SWE bench verified and other agentic benchmarks. Those are useful context, but they are not the same as an independent, air-only, real work guarantee. Treat them as official claims, then test your own workload. Now the grounded part. In our first-party coding benchmark run, using OpenRouter's free GLM 4.5 air route, the model scored 126.5 out of 2,400 or 60.24%. The suite covered coding only, with 21 cases. It had 6 full passes and 15 failed or partial cases. That result is useful but narrow. It does not measure general chat, math, search latency, cost under load, safety, or direct Z.ai-hosted inference. The pass pattern is the real story. It fully passed straightforward tasks like date range validation, fast API health and echo, Slugify, a notification engine, a simple task list, API, and 1 hard notes. Permissions case, but harder workflow tasks were much less reliable. Job queues, order pricing, scheduling, webhooks, migration, authorization, and orchestration all landed as failed or partial. So the right interpretation is mixed and task-dependent, not bad, not great, and definitely not automatic trust. There is also a timeline caveat. GLM 4.5 air mattered in the July 2025 GLM 4.5 generation, but by the May 5, 2026 research snapshot, Z.ai already listed newer text models above it: GLM 4.6, GLM 4.7, GLM 5, GLM 5 Turbo, and GLM 5.1. That does not make air irrelevant. It means the story is about an efficient open-weight model in a fast-moving lineup, not the current flagship. Here is the practical verdict. GLM 4.5 Air is worth testing if you want a low-cost hosted coding model, an open-weight model with agent-oriented design, or a controllable option for workflows that already have tests and guardrails. I would not treat the free OpenRouter route as proof of production reliability, and I would not expect the model to replace evaluation on complex coding tasks. Use it where efficiency matters, compare routes, and make the model prove itself on your own cases. That is the practical read on Z.ai's GLM 4.5 Air: efficient, open, cheap to try, and still something you should benchmark before trusting. If this helped you think more clearly about model choices for coding agents, like the video and subscribe to Fluid Coding and AI.